thing arises, that's the first go-to. We get angry, and we assume, and we develop a theory, and we never skip that stage. What I'm suggesting tonight is we skip the anger stage and go right to seeking understanding. My addict did this. Oh, let me seek understanding. I wonder what's going on. Right? That. Different ball game. So I'm at the Rotary Club on Wednesday. This lady invites me, Carrie. She says, come down, and we do this Rotary Club meeting, and you can come down and we have lunch at the Rotary Club, and we sit around, and there's lunch served, and there's all these business owners of Des Moines, and you'll get to know all these people. And I get down there, and she goes, oh. And then I'm sitting there, I get this plate of food, and I guess she suggested it, I don't really remember. But I didn't think it was like this. I'm sitting there getting this piece's food, and all I hear her say is, and we have our guest speaker, Art, today. And I'm like, oh, awesome. So I'm pretty good. I get up there and do my deal. But afterwards, I've been on this theme, seek understanding of why did the heroin get here? How did the heroin get here? I was pissed. How can we stop it from getting here? And all of a sudden, this guy comes up to me afterwards and he goes, and what a waste of time. Asking those questions, right? Seek understanding. Quit sitting here wondering. So, anyways, the guy comes up to me and goes, hey, have you ever read the book Dreamland? No, never heard of it. Well, go read it. Oh, understanding, right? So I did. Oh, shit. Here we are. Okay, I see. Oh, my God. It took me into consciousness. I'm back to presence. I understand. I've learned something. I know now what I have to do next. I know where to go next. And it isn't that all this isn't. It's about enjoying the ride and knowing where to go next. It's about not sitting there and complaining, not being a victim of this, not being a victim of it whatsoever. Understanding that this can go on for 10, 20 years or the rest of your life. And you can't be happy when, you have to be happy now.
So how does the addict learn that attitude, that conscious and unconscious? How does...
An addict goes through a ego break. A true addict, when true recovery is done through a process called hitting bottom.
Yeah.
So an ego or an unconscious mind will lie to an addict and rationalize and tell them that everything's okay, right? Until there's a crack in the system. Bottom. They had a thud. That thud occurs, a break happens, and you'll hear an addict say something like this. I hate myself. I hate myself. What a profound statement. I hate myself. You know why that statement is profound?
Self-awareness.
Because it suggests duality. One cannot myself. One has to hate themselves. To hate themselves, you have to know that there's two. You have to see that the one self is an illusion, and it's ego. And you have to see that there's two. So if I can hate myself, well then I must be able to look at myself. But if I'm unconscious, I just am myself. And so I just do what my voice in the head tells me, and that's who I am. But when we have that break, and we hit that bottom, we're able, and what it's called is, we admitted we were powerless and our life's unmanageable. That kind of means right there, myself sucks. Then it says, in step 2, it says, we came to believe a power greater than ourselves will restore us to sanity. What that means is the addict stops taking the advice of this shitbag, bad advisor, and it stops running it. It starts running that advice by a third party. So the first to 43rd day of my recovery, this asshole kept telling me to get high. And it kept giving me reasons, rationalizing why I should. Every time it did that, I went, hey man, you, whoever you are, what's it? Help me. And what I did was, I weakened the power of that voice. It told me to do something, and I started separating from it, and I actually rose to consciousness. And I went from a thinker to the watcher of my thinker. Now, my thinker gives me bad advice, and I don't follow it. I used to follow it to the T. It was kind of like a car pulling up. You know when you're standing on the corner and a nice car would pull up and the door opens up and somebody just goes, "Get in!"
And you get
I used to just get in. I used to get in and we'd be like 10 miles down the road and I'd be like, "Hey, where are we going?" Now when the car pulls up and the door opens up, I go, "Hey, where are we going?" I don't want to go there. That ends badly, right? Rising to consciousness. Then it takes work. It takes work not to get sucked back and relapse. Relapse is when the voice in their head tells them to get high again, and then gives them a reason, and then they believe it.
Okay, so that's where the higher power comes in,
Hmm?
or God,
I'm not here to tell you that.
Higher power.
I'm here
the
to.
higher power.
I also like the.
But it's a spiritual
spiritual power.
thing.
A spiritual awakening
Yeah.
occurs. A spiritual awakening occurs. I'm a reader of the Tao Te Ching. You ever read the Tao? The
Mhm.
Tao. The Tao Te Ching just calls God the way.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the way. The way. I like that. So I read that too. Yeah, and you know, I say that's the way. At that point in my life, I would have told you all 3 years ago that God Himself, when I asked Him to remove the obsession and to help me not get high, I would have told you 3 years ago that it was actually God. He was wearing a white robe and He went into my brain with His hand and He cared about me and He was watching. And after 43 days when I asked Him, He personally gave me that attention and came down and removed the obsession from my brain. I believe that. I don't know so much anymore after a lot of spiritual learning and a lot of path that I've went on. I don't know if that happened. What I do know is by not identifying with that voice in my head and by not thinking that's me, I weakened it. And I started watching it. And I don't know if me watching it or God Himself went into my brain. I can't tell you. But I can tell you that it is a spiritual awakening. And that's how an addict begins the rise to consciousness. Now, we're not dealing, the current demographic of addict, I don't know necessarily if they get to the point where they say, "I hate myself." They more say shit like, "I hate my mom." This is my mom's fault.
Yeah.
She's a bitch. She shouldn't have divorced my dad. Yada, yada, yada. They don't ever really get this true recovery, and that's our problem. That's why all the kids in treatment now come kicking and screaming as regards to.
Conversation with my addict today, and we were talking about that, and he said, you know, the first time when they wake up, you know, kind of in the morning, that's probably the conscious, that's more of the clarity, more of the sober part,
Right.
before they go get
The little
that-
window.
That's the two voices are right there. That's when they hate themselves the most.
Yeah.
Is that point. But ask another question. I'm an old salesman. I mean, or was for probably 35 of the 45 working years.
Sure.
And as a salesman, I'm such, you know, and my belief has always been, I've taught clinics in 30 states anyway, and saying, hey, your subconscious mind is 90% of your brain power. And conscious, you know, 90% of what we do is our unconscious, and 10% is our conscious. And I believe so much, and because it helped me so much as a salesman, in the power of affirmations. Do you think, like, if our addicts had something like that they, even though, you know, they can recite this, put it into their, you know, they're in the conscious mind now when they're doing it, they're reading, even though it's not true. I mean, to me, it's like, hey, I weigh 190 pounds because I eat the workout and I eat healthily. You know, oh no, you don't. You know, well, if I keep telling myself that enough, my mind will start to believe, well, maybe you're right. Maybe you do only weigh 190 instead of 240 or 35. And so, and then you start acting unconsciously because we do so much.
You talking about reprogramming?
Well, I guess.
Reprogramming the brain. I don't know about really much of that, and a lot of what you're talking about we're not necessarily talking about the subconscious mind.
Okay.
When we speak of consciousness in this room, basically you can talk about it as you, true self. You can talk about it as awareness, self-actualization, consciousness being awareness. So if I were to take the people out of this room, are you still here?
Yes.
If I were to take the objects out of the room, are you still here?
Yes, sir.
If I were to take your awareness out of this room, are you still here?
No, I'm thinking about something else.
See, it's our awareness that allows us to be here. So when we're talking about consciousness, we're talking about awareness. We're talking about in mindfulness, what we're talking about in this room, when we speak of consciousness, what we're talking about is a waterfall in front of us, being under the waterfall or behind the waterfall. So right now, and what I mean by the waterfall is thought, emotion, past, future, just a direct pounding of experience and all this. What I'm talking about with mindfulness is to step back behind the waterfall and be the watcher of emotion, thought, experience. I had the experience of active addiction. I've experienced active addiction. I don't necessarily run down and call myself an addict. I experienced addiction. I have the experience of owning a treatment center. I am not a treatment center owner. That's not who I am. I am Art. I am the awareness that looked in the mirror and saw a 5-year-old little guy, and I am that same awareness that now looks in the mirror and sees a 42-year-old fat guy. Okay? I am that. That's who I am. True self. So when we're talking about conscious, we're talking about true self. That's what we're speaking here. We're speaking about removing the filter of judgment, thought, emotion, ego, and getting right down to the zone of life. That's what we're speaking of here. A little different than that power of suggestion or thought. No, I think that all bad behavior is unconscious. The solution for all bad behavior is consciousness. If one is present and the voice in their head isn't, they can't behave badly. Why? Because their voice in their head can't think of a reason. So we said in the beginning of this, Bob told us that all bad behavior is unconscious and it all ends up places. And somebody today said, well, what about murder? Murder is the same as drug addiction, in my eyes, in my opinion. It's the same. Different levels, but the same. Before I commit murder, I must be able to rationalize murder. Right? Before I do it, I have a rationalization. And it ended up places. So a guy that committed murder, what happened was there was an inner struggle, which is known as cognitive dissonance. He was trying to hold 2 or more contrary beliefs. Belief A, I'm a good person, when I don't want to go to prison. Belief B, I want to kill this person and I'll probably end up in prison. How do you hold those two and make it add up? How do you do that? What happens is the unconscious process of rationalization. So his voice in his head tells him some shit like, they deserve to die, you're doing all of us a favor. I must kill them because they're evil. Whatever the voice is saying. And then they end up places. The only other way we behave badly as humans, other than rationalizations prior to behaving badly, the only other way we behave is called emotion. We get angry and act out of emotion. We do a crime of passion. Right? They get high. These kids get high sometimes. They lose their shit and they go get high. And I ask them, why'd you get high? And they don't have a reason. They can't even figure out what happened. A man kills his husband or his wife when he walks in on her. Then what we do is we call it backwards rationalization. So somebody will say, hey, why'd you go get high? Then they'll go, well, Art didn't serve good dinner last night. They'll come up with any reason. Then, backwards. Carrie, it's your first night. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure.
Or your addict?
Well, I'm also an addict. Was an addict. Whatever, how
Yeah.
you guys say. Or, I went to high school with this guy. I think he was in my sister's class. But anyways, I had a son in high school. So he's going to be 24 this year. And then I have a 13-year-old too. My 24-year-old I raised in active addiction. I didn't teach him right from wrong. Unfortunately, when I got myself better, he was already on a path to, the wrong path of using drugs himself. And it's been a really hard battle. I've had him in 3 rehabs. I went to nursing school and ended up working at Lakeside Milam for the teenagers and detox for a few years, but it was just too hard. to have a son in active addiction and work, for me. So my son is in jail right now for his 10th time, and he's been living on the streets for years. And he was in a car accident. He was 18, and he got sworn into the military, and he was drinking and driving, and I got a call, and he was airlifted to Harborview, and he was in a coma. And so ever since he woke up from that, he's never been quite the same kid. The way he controls his emotions, can't rationalize things that great. He's very angry. So since then, he started shooting up meth and heroin, and in and out of jail. Lots of sleepless nights. So it's just kind of my 13-year-old. He's been raised, in the program a lot. I think he might be the kid that's afraid to ever use, and that's a good thing. But so Devin, he's going to turn 24. He's in jail right now for robbery, and he was out of his mind when he did it. He had some kind of weapon. I don't know if that was like a box cutter or something silly, but not a gun, thank goodness. Because he's actually going to trial, and that starts next month. So I'm not sure how long he'll be in this time. I think only a year, 6 months to a year. You get like a third of the time off. They always just get him in and out of jail too quick. So. Well, that's pretty much my story.
First time ever in history where parents are like, my kid's getting out of jail too quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
No, we get it.
Yeah.
Everybody in this room gets it,
Okay.
trust me.
I
Totally
couldn't
wish
even
I
get
had
the
a word.
police to take my son to jail.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even put him in jail for what he did.
Yeah.
I was like, what's going on here? Why, well, we don't have enough manpower, and it takes 2 hours to drive to the Seattle. I'm like, give me a break, it's Covington, give me a break.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it's the only time. I mean, I sleep really good when he's in jail. I know he's.
yeah.
But I wonder though how much drugs are available in jail, because sometimes the phone calls, I'm like, it seems really high.
Yeah, we just had a bunch of parents saying that lately.
Yeah, and then so I'm not sure on like what you guys think. Like my son asked me to put money on his books when he's in jail, and I'm like, no, you can go work, make your $2 a day or whatever. But if they're getting drugs in jail, I don't want to give him money.
We'll go ahead and get on the schedule. We're going to talk a little after this. But you get on our schedule and we'll get you a consultation and we'll get you worked out. Me and Angie sit with parents, a consultation. I think everybody in this room's probably had one. Haven't you? Everybody? Maybe, for the most part. Everybody in this room is seasoned. We're all here. We've all had consultations. And, I don't know. This is the funnest part of my life, actually. That sounds sad.
It really
I'm sorry.
You didn't sell that at all.
I didn't say that. I guess it's not. I just got back from Vegas. But I'm like, this is the funnest part. But it's the most rewarding, I'll say. Is sitting with you guys. This is the most rewarding, I'll say. Not fun, but rewarding. And I hope you guys, this is a roadmap for me. I'm off the map quite a bit. And everything that I talk about in here, please understand that you would have to follow me all week and see that man, I go crazy off the map. And I find myself yelling and screaming sometimes and practicing or having non-acceptance. But I know it. And I'm able to quickly bring myself back. I'm able to be a victim. I'm able to be a victim of my job and how parents annoy me and all that stuff. I had Linda Dean, y'all know Linda, right? Linda gave me, luckily this week I had this theme. She's lucky that I had this theme of seek understanding, because her kid Drew left on like Sunday or Saturday. He went and got high. And of course, inevitably, they call me the next day. You know, Art, it didn't work. Okay, can I come back? And me and Drew got into a pretty heated conversation where I go, you know, Drew, I don't know, man. I go, what the hell? What were you thinking? I go, you left Saturday. It's the next day. You couldn't figure out how to manage your habit longer than that? I said, I don't know what you're thinking. How did you think it was going to end? And I was a little, but I this kind of Drew, the phone cut out. Drew was really upset with me because I told him, I said, 35 people live here. What if they all just went and got high and tried to come back the next day? Why do you think you get to do that? Then the phone cut out, and I was going to bring the kid to understanding, hopefully, but I didn't. And I never talked to Drew again for about another week, but he came back. Inevitably, I let him back, and he came in Sunday night, and he's doing okay now. But it was yesterday, or the day before, and Linda and Drew are sitting out on the couch. I was really busy. I didn't really notice them. I just said, hi, Linda, hi, Drew, and I walked by, and I went down to the treatment center. And I'm down at the treatment center, and I get this voicemail from Linda, who is the sweetest, nicest little lady that you've ever seen. And it is riddled with the F word. What are the fucking rules? What the fuck? I'm like, oh my God, right? And it was so bad that I hit delete, right? Like, before I even listened to any more of it, I was like, luckily, this thing had been going on, seek understanding. That's what, seek understanding. So I wanted to say, you know, what I wanted to say was, F you, and you know what I mean? You know? What the hell? What else can I do for you? Whatever I wanted to say. But instead, that voice came in, seek understanding. So I call in and I say, hey, Linda, what's the fucking rules? She says. And I said, Linda, why don't you just come down to the treatment center and talk to me? Right? And, you know, reality is, Linda was scared. Linda was sick. She was upset. She couldn't stop thinking about her kid dying. I'm here to help the people that are in that stage. What gives me the right to be upset at her? What would give me that right? To be upset at people for being sick when I'm supposed to be a healer, right? What would give me the right? So luckily I didn't. Luckily I just sat and had where I saw understanding of Drew, and he reciprocated with trying to understand me, and I gave him some understanding, and it was beautiful. And it was beautiful. It was a beautiful session where he left happy, and she's been, you know, singing my praises ever since and hugging me, and that could have went a lot of different ways. But luckily this week, I'm not an asshole. Right? Thank God, right? But it's just a roadmap. It really is. It's a roadmap for awareness. It's a roadmap for presence. It's to see what side of this unconscious and conscious side I'm living. Am I in the basement of my own mind, worrying about things I cannot change, or trying to think about things that I can't change, or whatever I'm doing in my mind? Or not having the courage to change the things I can, so I'm just living in my mind wishing I would, and swallowing bullshit, heaps of it. Maybe they're in my house and I know they just told me a lie, but I don't have it in me to confront them right now. So rather than confront them and get it all on the table and seek understanding, I just go into my bedroom and stir about it and become very angry. And maybe I'm not doing that. And so if you stay on this right path, are we getting close to the end?
8:32.
Oh shit. So if you stay on this right path, then please follow this and seek. And also know that everything that you can't change at the moment doesn't mean that's forever. And everything you can change right now does not mean that's forever. It's seeking the wisdom to know the difference is what we do in the meantime. And understanding that, you know, right now I can't change it. But maybe with an education, or maybe with a break in the window, maybe with something I can change it. So I have to seek that understanding to know the difference. And if I'm doing that, I'm aware and I'm present, and I'm not in the basement I want, the place we want to stay out of. Isn't that what we're all looking for? We're looking to sit on that beach and fully be on the beach. Nothing. We're looking to go to work and do a good job and get into our jobs. We're looking to eat a meal and enjoy every bite. We're looking to take a shower and enjoy a shower, a hot bath with candles. We're wanting to enjoy a cup of tea and taste it. We just want the simple things. We just want that. And so I think this map will keep us on a closer area to that.
Can I just say something about our consultation, if you haven't had one? You know, we had one just the other day with Art and Angie, and because our son decided not to do what you suggested to do, he's no longer in our house. Of course, you know, first we were really feeling like we were terrible parents, which kicked him out, but it was his choice. He's the one that decided not to stay.
Yeah.
And so, because of that, I think we feel better. I mean, you know, you worry about him on the street, but we feel better that he's not in our house using the drugs, because obviously he was using drugs, because he wouldn't take the urine test. So, anyway.
Well, it's this only realm, with addiction, it's the only realm where we can set rules, go back on our rules, or we can set rules, and when they choose to not follow the rules, we actually feel bad as if it were our fault. I shouldn't have set that rule. It's this only realm where I mean, if you had a normal teenager and they were 13 years old, and you went, you're going to grandma's today, or you're going to be grounded for 7 days. We have no problem grounding that teenager for 7 days. We have no problem with it, right? That's the deal, dude. You know? But it's this fear that the drug addict holds over us. That's what it truly is. This fear that they don't know that they're going to go hurt themselves. You know? And so they hold us hostage to that fear. But what is the alternative? Setting a rule and letting them not follow it. That's the alternative. That sucks too. And that's a terrible way to live. Because addiction, especially in our own homes, is what's called parasitic. The more you push, the more they say what does Jeff always say? He says, if I let somebody slide, they start ice skating.
That's great.
That's really good.
He says it a different way. He says, if I let him slide, the motherfucker starts ice skating. You know? And isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
As soon as you let them slide up a little bit, they're ice skating all over your home. And you're just sitting there hostage.
Done it in ice cream?
Yeah. Dad, I just got done shooting up in your bathroom. I'm really in need of some ice cream. Yeah. Can you run to the store for me, Dad?
I need some cigarettes.
And you're like, yeah, I need some smokes. Do you need me to pick you up another bag, son? You know, and we end up getting to that point. I should run out and get him a bag so he stays. Because I don't want my kid shooting heroin in a dope house. It's much better in my house. Oh, shit. Alright, little final thing. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you take the roadmap. I follow it. Try to follow it. Tough roadmap to follow. You will find yourself off a minute and hour basis all day, every day. You gotta bounce back on.
Some things you can change tonight, though, is signing up to be a monthly partner, increase your monthly partner, join our workshop, buy auction tickets.
Absolutely.
And we have all that out here on the table.
I have no shame in my game. I know we're the best at what we do. We know it. We are it. Yeah, we are the best. We have the best team. We have the best parents. We have the most educated parents. They come every week. We help people as an organization. We need your money. If you're not a monthly partner and you came here tonight, you should feel severely guilty. You're just taking shit from us. Sign up. You got $5 a month. Sign up. We go to work for you. The parents in this room that come here every week go to work. They work their ass off. They do it for free. I don't, but that's me. I need lots more money. I need a vet. No. Some kids ask me, when are you gonna get a new car, Art? And I go, I got dogs. You guys all saw last week, my dogs ate my furniture. Ate it, $7,000. Amy went out and spent like $7,000 in furniture. We got our house. All ruined. All ruined.
Those are the two big ones that came in?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
they ate it. So that's great. I accepted it really quickly. Nothing.
But the,
Love them, hug them.
but the Damien
It's not the dog's fault.
Accepted.
Good night.
your fault.
Sure, I'm sorry.
So tell me, Kurt, how is Greg? I haven't seen him in a long time.
Black Labs matter.
All of that matters.
Oh, is he? Okay. So he,